number on your screen. I'm going to ask my producer to pull that up right now. And there is also the YouTube Live that we're on, and you can send your queries either on the chat there or in fact on the WhatsApp number that you can see on your screen right now. The first question that I will take is from Karthik, who's writing in from Visakhapatnam, and this is on data patterns. The question is, do you have enough data, Brijesh, to tell us about this counter? He's been holding since IPO, Karthik, and he's wondering whether to book profits at the current price. Brijesh?
Yeah. So I think it's. I think that currently today the stock is, I think, slightly marginally down at 1800 levels, 1835 odd levels. So I believe I think some partial profit booking is advisable. I think the stock has run up quite a bit. So it's advisable from the technical point of view. If somebody wants to take a profit, I think one should take it. Like there can be a small correction can be due in this particular quarter.
Understood. All right. Do you have any view on this one, Rohan, on the fundamentals as well for somebody that is holding since IPO?
Sorry, I don't track data patterns.
No, fair point. All right. Smriti?
Right. Next up, we have a question from Suryan. She's written to us on YouTube, and he's talking about RVNL. He bought the stock at around 130 levels. The stock is up about 1% today and is currently trading around 183 levels. So quite a considerable profit there. And he wants to know the exit point, the exit price for RVNL. So Brijesh, what point would you suggest to take an exit from the stock?
Actually, the structure is positive, and if you look, these railway stocks are going to perform for the next couple of months. So definitely, the bias is positive. Maybe the first leg of correction might be seen close to 200 level. It's very difficult to predict that, but then I think somewhere close to 200, if he wants to make some partial profit booking, is advisable, because I think the trend is definitely very strong. Partial profit booking somewhere close to 200, and I would advise to hold on to the long position.
Understood. We've got Mohit from Ludhiana who's writing in and asking about Fortis, which he's bought at levels of 270. He's got 350 shares, and this is a counter that's done quite well in the last year. It has gained over 50% or thereabouts. It is, in fact, if I'm not mistaken, it's doing quite well in trade today as well. That is, in fact, the intraday chart. The one-year chart looks similar, which is why I was a little thrown away. He's looking for 2-year perspective. So this one's for you, Rohan, on the fundamentals. Does he keep holding?
Yeah, see, Fortis is unbelievable. If you see, Fortis was 200 rupees in 2010, and we had seen some problems into the company across in last decade, and things have come out right to Fortis. The whole problems has been come out to it, point to it, and one of the biggest things what I've learned in the markets, and specifically bull market, is that not to fear that if your stock is double down, let us book it, because you don't know that the stock has just started to begin, and it could be a biggest story of your portfolio. So till the numbers are pouring out, you should not exit out into it. And this is a company where it should at least it should be a 4 to 5% in your portfolio. It is looking extremely strong in a turnaround story.
All right. Next up, the question is from Soumya Mukherjee. He's talking about 2 stocks, and this is for you, Brijesh, because he wants a short to medium-term view on these 2 stocks. One is Adani Wilmar. He bought the stock at 621 levels. The stock is currently trading at 369. And the second one is Granules. He bought it at 324 levels, and he wants to know if he should continue holding this for the short to medium term or take an exit.
Adani Wilmar, I think it has been the stock has corrected, and maybe because of the recent news of that, it has been getting the Adani is going to exit or something. But then I believe the fundamental is quite strong. Adani Wilmar should be held at this level. I won't be surprised if this stock goes back to 550, 600 on the near future. So view would be definitely to hold the position to this counter, and somebody would like to take a risk and eventually look to add fresh longs at this particular counter. I think we should I maintain a positive bias on the Adani Wilmar. Talking about Granules.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. So basically granules trading at 414. The structure is still very positive. The immediate, I think there will be some trade towards the 450 levels. So I think even the granules look extremely positive. This is again, I'm looking from the monthly time frame. Maybe next couple of months, I think with the market, granules is bound to see some levels toward 450 plus. So let's review when it comes close to 450. But right now, from current point of view, definitely we should be talking of 450.
Understood. All right. We've got a question coming in from Kaushik, and Kaushik is asking about SBI cards at the current level. And he's asking also, if you buy at the current level, what would the exit be? The stock is currently trading up about 0.8%. So I'll come back to you, Brijesh, on this one. And then I'll also take a quick view from Rohan. First on the technicals, though.
SBI card, I think it's near this demand zone. So basically, there has been a correction in the counter, and technically, if I need to talk, then it's basically trading below the 200-day moving average, and that level is close to 810. So I think right now, since it is in near the demand zone, we'll wait for some pullback. In the near future, if it's purely from the technical point of view, if 810 level is taken up, then I think there can be some positive bias. Right now, we'll wait. We'll hold the position towards 810. Once it comes close to 810, we'll review the position, whether that should be an exit or maybe if with the other news and events, we'll take the further review.
Understood. Rohan, any view on SBI cards? If I remember correctly, just about a few weeks back, when the regulations changed on the risk weights, this is one company that was impacted the most in terms of the expectation of capital adequacy having to go up quite substantially. So what are the prospects going forward on the fundamental basis?
Yeah, so we had always had a question on the business side of the credit cards, because it's an extremely high competitive market. And then if you see that, how the small loan companies have come out to it, because credit card is a bit more exclusive to use rather than the small loan. So if you see, still the profit has been decent with 2,300 crore. But if you see on the longevity point, I don't think so. It's a great value to buy looking forward for the peers which are available right now. And it's an extremely tough competition where, the exclusivity doesn't come. So, negative from our side.
All right, we'll slip into a short break now, but on the other side, we'll take a lot more questions. So stay tuned to NDTV Profit. Welcome back. You're watching Ask Profit, and if you've not written to us till now, you can write to us on the WhatsApp number that's on your screen. You can send in all your stock-related questions, listed stocks, mind you. We have Rohan and Brijesh who have joined us as guests today, and will be taking your questions. The first one we'll take is from Amit Rastogi. Now he's talking about Venus Pipes. He wants to buy the stock, and this for the longer term. So Rohan, this one's for you. Now a couple of days back, DAM Capital came out with a note saying that they're now covering the stock and has given a target of about 1,800 rupees on this stock. Considering all of this, do you concur that the stock has a brighter long-term future?
Track the response.
Rohan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. I don't track Venus Pipes.
All right, understood. Let's take a technical check on this quickly then. Brijesh, on Venus Pipe, how does the structure look on the charts?
I think there has been if you look at for the last couple of months, there has been some amount of buying is visible. So I think and previously 1580 was the target for was the high for the Venus Pipe. I think this momentum can continue. Chartically, the averages and the oscillators are positively placed. So I would bet on the positive bias. 1550 plus 1600 would be the technical target from the current level. So at immediate level itself, it remains a buy with the 2-day swing low, which is a 1340. With that base as a stop loss, I think one can look for 1550, 1600 on the higher side.
Okay, I've got a bit of a tough question for you, Rohan, and even if you don't have coverage on these, which I'm guessing you don't, I'm still requesting you to give advice, because we've got a viewer, Nabha, who's writing in from Mysore, and yeah, that's right, Mysore. Nabha has bought EduComp at levels of 232 and HDIL at levels of 160. Now, both of these are not really counters that are tracked on an ongoing basis. If they are stuck, and I've asked for the quantity, there were 50 shares each. What does somebody like that do right now at this current juncture? Do you write it off, or how do you manage this?
Yeah, so it's this category of H, that is hope category, that the stocks this type of stocks which are doing a consistent losses, which recover, and this is because bull market is there, the stock will again go up. So in this category, I may say one thing that if the holding is not very high into your portfolio, you can just continue, because there is nothing, what advice I can do with an EduComp or HDL which does an humongous mammoth of losses in the company, and there's nothing to go forward for it. But there can be a hope of it to it. So I think so it's more onto luck rather than logic. So if you have good luck, I think so you will do better. But if it is a logical portfolio, I think so it also gives you a habit of buying this type of stocks. So if I would be on your place, I would have exited the stock. If I have 10 stocks or 50 stocks, doesn't make any difference.
All right, fair point. Next up, we have a question from PK Pradhan. He's written to us from Lucknow, and he's talking about Infosys. Now, last week we had some news flow around Infosys that it lost a $1.5 billion deal. The stock has, it's flattish today, has given about % of returns in the last 5 days. Basis all of this, Rohan, what kind of future do you see for Infosys and the IT pack as a whole? How does
I've been seeing this pack very closely recently in last 1 month, and believe me, what I'm seeing is that the large companies are getting off the order because of certain things, because people want personalized services. The startup world and the mid companies are getting more to the mid to small cap companies on the sizes. So that is what we have seen also in the upbringing in last 1 month in the stocks. So we believe that the big companies, we are not very bullish onto it, but mid-sized companies, we are extremely bullish onto it. And we are seeing also that companies like Infosys are not growing on that CAGR what mid-sized companies are growing. So mid companies would be more preferable. Companies like Persistent, Coforge, a small company like Zenstar. These are all companies which are looking interesting in comparison of Infosys. So it would be sell or neutral from our side.
Right, there's one more question from the same viewer. He's talking about Vodafone Idea. Now the stock is seeing a jump in the share price, but as far as I know, there's no fundamental reason to it. What do you see for Vodafone Idea? Is there some sort of reason that the stock is rising, and what kind of trajectory do you see for the company in the next couple of years?
We have been lately hearing there has been some politically development happening into the company. With good funds have been pumped in. See, the company is doing a 30,000 crore of TTM losses. It needs fund, and it has done fairly well into the business. So maybe if there has been some structural changes, which I feel that it's on the card, because from the way 10 to 17 or 8 to 17, the price has been happening. So if somebody is holding, maybe let us see for a quarter or so. There can be some news for company to get it better and better in next quarter or so, because this quarter numbers would be more interesting. If we are seeing a posting of less than 2,000 crore of losses, I think so it's a company to hold.
I'm also asking this because there's going to be a lot of interest in this as well. If your average holding price, as PK's is the case, Mr. PK Pradhan was writing in on Vodafone Idea, is 15, which is slightly elevated considering people that got in earlier in the cycle. Should you continue to hold with the potential for upside, Rohan?
Yeah, see, it is a huge risk game. It's like, risk versus reward ratio. The rewards is exceptionally high. Again, it is a loss-making point, but, you don't know when the recovery happened, which we had seen in Suzlon or we have seen in certain other companies. So on that level, this quarter numbers, as I say, that last quarter it has posted the highest losses of their life of more than 8,000 crore. If this quarter we are at somewhere around below 5,000 to 2,000 crore of losses, and some exceptional development happening onto the company angle, it's a stock to hold.
Okay. There are a few questions on the banking space, which I'm going to banks plus NBFCs, which I'm going to club. We've got Venkat, who's asking about Federal Bank as well as LIC Housing. And we've got Sumana, who's writing in from Kolkata, who's asking about Canara Bank. Venkat has not bought yet, I believe, but Sumana has bought 75 shares of Canara Bank at 314 or thereabouts, asking whether to hold. What's the view generally on the financial space? We've seen, Rohan, that it's lagged the other space as well, right? So does that catch-up happen now? What is the specific advice that you can give on these three counters?
If you see in the sectoral index in calendar year 23, financial has been the least performing with 14% of results. This has happened because of the heavy weights. But if you see companies like Federal Bank, I think it's very positive. Access on the side, Canada is also very positive. But still, I believe that with risk versus reward ratio, SBI is still a huge, positive in all the segment across. So maybe Federal on the small cap side and SBI on the large cap side means a lot of value in next 1 year.
Okay, I've got one more question that we can take, and we're running out of time. Brijesh, this one's for you. Hindustan Aeronautics is the question. This is from Ramaswamy. Bought at levels of 2,068, so considerable profits. The question is, should you book out right now?
I think I would like to hold on to the position, the structure, because there is no negativity in the charts. This momentum can continue towards the 3,000 plus level. Maybe let's, again in today's session, there has been a breakout. So it looks quite positive on charts. Maybe another easily 200 plus can be seen in the HAL. So closer to 3,000, let's review, but then definitely hold on to the position.
What stop loss would you keep?
The recent buying was seen from the level of 2,700. So maybe 2,700 will be my stop loss.
All right. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much, Rohan and Brijesh, for joining us and for answering so many questions for us. And viewers, thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, 11:30 a.m. Lots more coming up on NDTV Profit.